Okay, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. So we're gonna wait. I just alerted some different sites here. Wait for some people to filter on in like we always do. I have the data up there on the screen so that you guys can see what the jobs numbers were. Well, that's hot. So I had to switch over to tea. Had a couple of cups of coffee, right? Which is normal, what I normally do. It's the first thing I do. If you guys have, kids and, you know how it is. Even if you don't have kids, waking up, and I got a great sleep last night, by the way. 9 straight hours. 9 straight wonderful hours of sleep. But I still woke up exhausted. So had a cup of coffee, then made another one, and then I went into the jobs report at 8:30, 8:31, and I'm smashing the buy button, I'm smashing the sell button. My eyes are bugged out of my head, and then I realized I have way too much adrenaline. So all I needed to do was wake up a little bit, right? Instead of having all that coffee. Should have just woke up a little bit. And then it hit me all at once, and I'm watching the screens just going crazy. I'm seeing the jobs numbers, and uh, to be honest, I was looking to fade it. I faded it at the wrong time. You can always see where the algorithms spike the market up, but I was fading the market. Ended up taking a small loss. I mean, nothing crazy, and I went in very light trading the futures because you know obviously trading anything else in the pre-market is very difficult to do. There's no options open. So I wanted to try to get some of that and thought I was going to have a good trade. Saw that the market started to stall. I'll show you guys in a second. And then just went the other way. Had to cut the loss. Like I said, I don't care about cutting losses. And if I didn't cut the loss, it would have turned into a much bigger loss than I got. So you got to realize that. And trading during an absolutely insane time, like a jobs report, like a CPI report, like when Powell is speaking, it's just very difficult to do. And it's very difficult to manage risk. So if you are going to trade during, a morning like this or during a report like this, you just have to be careful. All right, so we have 14 minutes to the bell. Let's dive right in. Let's go into this and why the market did what it did. So, the market hasn't opened yet, and this is something you guys have to realize. A lot of times we see pre-market moves that simply don't hold up during the market cash session. Keep that in mind. Not trying to put a bias out there ahead of time, but let's just go over the report. So the report comes out at 8:30, and the market quickly dips and then just skyrockets. So a lot of times the market is moving faster than I can even get the data. So the market is kind of telling me ahead of time what the numbers look like. And this is where I got confused. So the payrolls, the jobs numbers were actually a big beat, right? The expected was 200. We saw 223. All right. So that was a beat. Normally, that wouldn't be great for the equity market. The unemployment rate, this is absolutely huge, was down to 3.5%. The expected was 3.7%. So I'm seeing these numbers. I'm seeing these numbers come out, and I'm automatically shorting the market, right? Because I'm thinking those algorithms pre-programmed are going to see these numbers and they're going to drop the market as well. What I didn't take into account, I'm going to show you guys in a second on the charts. And it just goes back to, I've gone over it so many times, those CPI reports, two of the last 3 or 4 CPI reports were actually bad for the equity market and saw buying, and good for the equity market and saw selling, because we were at critical support and resistance levels before the report came in. So it's like earnings season. When you see a market sell off into earnings season, a lot of that means it's already priced in, and anything that's not as bad as it could be, right? Worse than expected, we can actually see some buying. So that's what happened this morning, at least in the pre-market. And I'll get into that right now. So pre-market, okay, this is a good one to look at here on the ES. On the ES, which is down here, I'm just going to make this bigger so you guys can see. So the ES was actually at support at 3820. On the S&P 500, the SPX, that is 3,800. That is where we've seen a massive amount of support in the past. You can see here, I mean, just extend this to the left. This goes on for a while. This has been a huge level of support, this consolidation that we've been in for a very long time, almost a month. We've been supporting around this 3,800 level. So if we can back this up just a little bit, you can see how far back it goes as support. So when the market was there this morning, right? When the market was there this morning, this is when we got the numbers. It was at support already. So the market in general has looked to me like it wants to break to the downside. And I thought a jobs number like this would break the market to the downside. It simply did not happen in the pre-market. And you can see here, I mean, it's since starting to roll over, but it's still up a lot, 0.75% on the S&P 500. But this 3820, that's a key level. We got the report at the key level. So sentiment was already very negative because we were inside that trading range and we were at the bottom of the range, which we've seen bounce every single time. So, you know, getting that number, thought we would break it, didn't happen. Saw the algo spike from 3820 all the way to 3874. So a lot of times when that happens, what price is going to do, and it took 20 minutes or so, or 15 minutes, it got right back to that level. It's just the way trading works. It's just the way it happens. Unfortunately, I was looking at the numbers. As much as I know this, and I know sentiment, I was still thinking that when price stalled here, when price started to stall here, because it came down a lot. I mean, you guys can see how much it came down. We were only up, you know, at this point, we were at 38.35 here at VWAP. So when I saw this happen and it started to stall out, I really, you know, was playing for that retracement. The retracement. That I was in the green for a little bit, but it didn't last long. And then once we broke out of this consolidation, took it off. Just took the loss. And now, you know, we're coming back down. So we're just going to have to wait and see how the market opens and what it does during the regular session. All right, so let's go back here. Charts on the SPY. That's not the SPY. All right, so on the SPY right now, we're trading. We're gonna be gapping up to about that level right there. So, you know, we're still in this. we're still in this range. We're still right in the middle. We're right in the middle of the range. You can see these yellow arrows that I have. I have alerts set for when we break out of the range. All right, because that's really what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm waiting to see. But right now, if we gap up, all we're at is directly in the middle of that range. So it's going to be very difficult to get a gauge on where to trade the market today. All right, we're right in the middle there. So it would have been nice to see, a breakdown out of this level, because once a trend establishes itself, it makes trading a lot easier than trading right directly in the middle of this range. So that's where we're at right now. I don't know what you guys did. I don't know if you guys traded pre-market. If you did, let me know in the chat. Let me know what you guys are looking at, because I'm curious too. I want to see what you guys are seeing. This is just what I'm seeing right now. And, thought a jobs number like that would definitely push us out of this. But what I have seen lately is I've seen some bad data kind of show some resilience. Now, yesterday we got some negative data and the market did go down. But like I said, it bounced that 3,800 on SPX and it held up. The Qs held up. It's just crazy. I feel like something is just gonna, just put a hole in that floor. It's hit it so many times. It's pinned it so many times. Picture a sheet of glass, right? Something that hits so many times. Eventually, you see that glass crack, but it has not cracked yet. So, the market's not open for another 5 minutes. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, we've seen, like I've showed you guys here before, this huge red candle. This was an excellent CPI report. The market should have loved it. In the pre-market, they loved it. Regular session opens and it sells off for 5 straight days. And that's a great report. So and then back here, this green candle, this was a terrible CPI number. Terrible. Showed inflation. It just did not beat expectations. It was worse than feared. Market open, gap down huge. And actually, we saw buying, for the next 2 months. So market sentiment is so important. We were at support when the report came out, and now we're in the middle of consolidation again. So what I thought could have been a very good day, and maybe it does break today during the cash session, but that's where we're at right now. So market sentiment is everything. If things are so oversold when a report comes out, then they see, okay, wages actually went down. They were revised down from the month before. So maybe the market took that as a good thing. But like I said, it's just pre-market. There's a whole bunch of trading that's about to happen. So we're just going to have to wait and see. We have the S&P 500 is up almost 1%. The NASDAQ is up almost 0.75%. The yields are down. So let's see what the VIX is at. The VIX is also down. The VIX has been pretty low. All things considered, it's been very calm, and that's because of this. When it breaks down or out, you'll see the VIX move a little bit more. All right, guys, 2 minutes to the bell, and yeah, we were just on the 1 hour chart for the trend lines. That's true. So let's look at this on the 1 hour. You guys can see here. Whoops, I didn't go back far enough. Here's your trend line. This is your trend line here. Over there, you got a trend line here. All right, so that's where we're at. You got a clear rejection right here at the top of that trend line. Guys, we're right in the middle. We're right in the middle. This was a big move. It's covering. I mean, we need to see a breakout. If you're going to trade in the middle of this, good luck. You know, you can still do okay, but we need a breakout. Give me a breakout either one way or the other. But that's a good call there on our chat. That's a great call because that's a huge rejection there. Exactly like he said on the 1 hour. So thank you for that. And I'm going to shut it down now. We got 1 minute to the bell. Everybody trade safe, trade smart, and I'll see you back on the next one. Take care, guys.